Things are not getting better for Naughty Dog and their upcoming Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet game. A massive fan site for the entire studio decided to trash gamers as, quote, narrow-minded idiots for criticizing the game's main character, Jordan A. Munn, and specifically the character design. Roll this up over at phantompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. You should head on over, become a paid subscriber, help support us in our fight to highlight the absolute insanity that is happening in the video game industry due to woke ideology that is being injected into it and that is trying to destroy our society at large. So we have this post here from Naughty Dog World. Using an image of Jordan A. Munn, a screenshot from the trailer. It says, watching all the narrow-minded idiots online getting upset, me drinking a soda from, I guess, some kind of fast food joint right there. So that is the post that this Naughty Dog fan site has said, and I bet this is how Naughty Dog itself feels about the people as well. But this Naughty Dog World describes itself as a fan site dedicated to the PlayStation developer Naughty Dog. And as you can see here, described gamers as narrow-minded idiots. And if we actually hop on over here, they've actually turned the comments off now. You cannot reply. Who else did that? Oh, that's right. Naughty Dog did that on the trailer. Comments are turned off, and you can see the ratios are continuing to increase. 156,000 dislikes now, only 64,000 likes on the Naughty Dog trailer. If we go over to PlayStation, where they still have the comments on, still have the comments on, 228,000 dislikes, 91,000 likes there. So more and more people are seeing the trailer and disliking it. But let's get back to this over here. When faced with criticism on the post, this Shill, this Naughty Dog fan site, responded saying, cool story multiple times. You can see here, I could never do this all for free, basically mocking this guy for shilling for Naughty Dog. And he just responds, cool story. Another person says, I love playing female characters, always choosing one if available in every game. I'm not sure about playing a bald lesbo, though. Looks fugly AF. And then this person is like, cool story. Another person wrote this, when the game flops hard, it'll be funny to watch you go silent. And Naughty Dog World said, good luck with that. I'm a fan of the studio, and regardless if the game does amazingly well or not so much, I'll be here. Keep crying. And this is what we talk about when we talk about shills, right? It doesn't matter about the quality. These are the people that they want to turn everyone into. They want you to just be dedicated to the brand, no matter what kind of absolute sludge that they pump out. They want you to just open your mouth and let it guzzle on in there. And that is not what we are about. We are actually about quality. We are about making really good games that, as Tolkien says, give you a glimpse into the Evangelium. And obviously that can come in different manners. There's different types of games. You could actually have a tragedy. I think Game of Thrones, as it stands right now, is an absolute degenerate piece of trash. But I do think there is a way to save that game where you actually come out with a decent ending. And I think that comes with the Night King literally just killing everyone. So it turns into a massive tragedy. So all of the evil and everything that you see is literally critiqued by the end, because what ends up happening is all of these people's greed, all of their vices, all of their sins, they pay for it. And they pay for it with death. And they pay for it with eternal hell by becoming minions of the Night King. And so I think that's how you say that, by turning it into an actual tragedy. And the lesson obviously is that don't do all of these things because they're wrong and bad. Whereas as it stands now, a lot of that stuff is glorified. And if you do all of these absolutely evil things, you literally get to go sit on the Iron Throne, right? So even if you want to depict the absolute disgusting, evil things that can happen, you obviously can still have good messages with your games, with your television shows, with your movies, and that is something that you can do. And that's what we're about here. We're about We're about promoting stuff that promotes the good, not stuff that is clearly trying to depict disordered, evil things as good. And that's exactly what it looks like we're going to get here with this character design. That is what this character design signals, is that they're going to be promoting some kind of LGBTQ plus agenda as something good, making a person who is living in that kind of disordered lifestyle the main character. So obviously, I did include the trailers here. You can see it was 219,000 when I wrote this, I think, yesterday. So now, what did we say it was at? It's now at 228. So pretty big leap there, over almost 10,000 increase. And then the Naughty Dog trailer at 152,000 dislikes, and now it's at 156,000. So only a 4,000 increase there. But the number of views hasn't really increased. You can still see 1.2 million. So obviously hasn't gone up by 100,000 yet, but you still are getting a 4,000 increase in the dislikes. Similar with the PlayStation one here, it's at 1.9 million now, and it was just at 1.8 million. So obviously, people who are seeing these trailers later are more likely to hit the dislike button than they are to hit the like button. And the comments are getting better. I know I've talked about some of these before. This one is still one of the top ones. I feel like Will Smith will slap me for making fun of her. The trailer is 2 hours ago. Ew, it's so old. We need a remaster. The most surprising thing about this trailer is that Sony left the comments on. I'm so cool, guys. Look how I sip this drink. So even mocking that already and how the character behaves. And you can see it's literally was a signal to woke acolytes to use this to try and mock people that were going to criticize the game. I think they knew what they were doing with this. And that was the whole purpose of this. And they knew people like this guy would indeed use this to try and mock people. They sell hair as a separate DLC. Now, that would be hilarious if that actually happens. We've got this guy from the studio who brought you Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, and Uncharted. Nice. How many of them still work there? That you'll see that repeated a number of times. Lots of people using that one. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? And then asks why I'm seeing Tupac Shakur. They don't learn from mistakes, do they? Again, kind of similar comment from the one above it. Can I play as the characters from the background anime instead? I wouldn't want to play from those either, because those look like they are transcoded with the color scheme and everything like that going on. So there's probably some degeneracy happening there. From the studio that got rid of all the people who originally made those games you loved as a kid and that we still take credit for. So again, similar comment to the one at the top. There's some more here. I still think this is probably one of the best. The game is going to make $1 quadrillion. That one's pretty good. Concord 2, Electric Boogaloo. That dog isn't naughty anymore. That one's pretty witty there. I like that. The main character looks like she belongs in Concord, 100%. Yes, from the same studio, but not the same people. So again, lots of comments in this manner as well. And there's also a boycott happening. Talked about this in a previous video too. Yorch Torch Games posted this. Let's boycott The Witcher 4 and Intergalactic just by the trailers alone. Yes, just by the trailers alone. And we've also seen Grumps reiterate his 2-year moratorium that he called for back in, was it April? I want to say, yeah, April. Calling on all gamers to not buy any AAA titles for the next 2 years that do this. Play your Steam backlog. You will send a very clear message. Lara Croft did nothing wrong and does not need fixing. He said, I made a plan with everyone in March to take down DEI in AAA gaming, specifically targeting Ubisoft, point out wokeness, reach out to YouTubers. 2 years of non-buying woke AAA to stop the spread. Are you feeling the impact yet? We've got more for you in 2025. I kind of like how he says stop the spread with the COVID reference there. That's funny. And then obviously he's got all of the games where we have indeed boycotted them. We've decided not to spend money on them. Dustborn, Unknown Nine Awakening, Star Wars Outlaws, Concord, Dragon Age the Veilguard. Obviously Forspoken was last year, but I think that's another one where we all kind of intuited that that was going to have the DEI woke agenda. And it did. It did. Black Girls Gamers was a part of that game, consulting on it, and it flopped. It flopped in the studio that made it no longer exists anymore, similar to Volition and Saints Row. And Concord is the next to go that way because they announced that Firewalk Studios will be shutting down. And things are not looking good for Ubisoft either. They are clearly trying to do everything they can to basically fend off a hostile takeover, even from their own investors who want to get out of the company because they see it as a giant loser at this point. And then even Dragon Age the Veilguard, which did perform the best on Steam, but didn't even manage to get 90,000 concurrents. And I think the last I checked on SteamDB, it was below 10K. They've already seen a 90%, almost 90% drop off from the game's peak concurrent to the most recent 24-hour concurrent. So people are not purchasing that game either. So I think that is going to happen with Intergalactic, and I think people like this Naughty Dog world here that are calling us narrow-minded idiots makes it even easier to avoid the game because I think they do indeed kind of speak for Naughty Dog, even though they are just a fan site. It's not hard to imagine that people like Neil Druckmann hate people like you and me. That's why they create characters like this. That's why they have characters like Joel savagely beaten to death by a character like Abby with a golf club in The Last of Us Part 2, because it's all done out of malice. But let me know what you guys make of all of this. What do you make of this fan site and calling us narrow-minded idiots? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.